The mitigator.
Will masternodes be available? Yep, that is a yes from Pete and a confirmation from my end.
I'm gonna say no.
All right. So Pelzjäger is saying no. That's probably because he wants to buy more obsidian.
Yes.
You're such a footer.
You are a footer, my sir.
I'm a paid footer.
Probably get some more fries.
Oh, yeah, management.
From a single wallet.
Well, the messenger would be available if we wanted to release it in the state that it will be in at that point, but we don't. So, sorry about that.
So, Gohan, your question's interesting because you are wondering what's the difference really between a masternode and the purpose of the decentralized messenger. So, the masternodes play a good vital role in the blockchain, and that is purely though for the zero coin protocol. Masternodes are rewarded for their assistance in essentially ciphering and deciphering these zero ODIN vouchers, and they're rewarded as such. However, the messenger itself will require additional requirements such as data storage, relaying of information, and that's where service nodes come in. And we have ideas for service nodes, but they're not going to be available at launch. So the decentralized messenger is not going to be available at launch because we don't have service nodes available yet. But once we do have service nodes, or once we have service node-like capabilities, there will be an explosion of ideas, either brought to us by the community or internally, for information that could be stored through multiple hosts that will then be paid for their storage fees.
All right, I'm going to step in there real quick. So we're going to read these questions aloud. This is Cam, by the way. Hey, everyone.
Yeah, hey, Cam.
How's it going?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, read questions aloud.
These questions, just so we have them for the transcript if we make one later on, just for clarity for everyone. So we have one here from Leot. Will the current wallet be used at the launch? And will you develop a separate one?
So, Leot, if your question is regarding the Obsidian wallet, then the answer will be no.
Yes. Well,
Pete has no idea what he's talking about. It's okay,
the
Pete.
Obsidian wallet is going to be available.
Well, okay, true. The Obsidian wallet will still be available. However, ODIN is going to have a separate wallet that will be available prior to the distribution of ODIN. So, the Obsidian one will still remain in effect, and I'm sorry if I jumped to conclusions on your question. But yes, the Obsidian wallet is still going to be available.
We're still going to work on it and then add stuff to it and develop things like stuff.
Yeah, there will still be Obsidian will continue on as a community-driven project. And
next week we will tell you all about that.
And next week, yeah, as Pete has mentioned, there is something pretty fun and exciting coming towards Obsidian. So it won't just be seen as a coin, I believe. People might think of it as.
It won't be seen as a coin that's been left to die.
It won't be seen as a coin that has been left to die. It will have a coin with value. So there will be two different wallets. One is for ODIN, and one is for Obsidian. And we are developing a separate wallet for the ODIN.
We've developed a separate wallet.
We have developed.
Continuing to
and we are continuing to make it great again. Make it better than it was before.
So Guhan wants to know when the next the roadmap might be.
Well, the next what?
The roadmap.
The roadmap. Pete, do you have some talks about the roadmap?
Yeah. I'm kind of putting the final touches of that together on the website. So I think this week we'll release that and it'll be available on the website with lots of information, and it's quite extensive. Okay.
So another question here, Dark Monad. Will we have another GUI wallet as the QT one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the ODIN wallet is going to be a GUI wallet. It's the rudimentary and basic functionality for most blockchains out there, which kind of all come from Qt wallets. So we will have a GUI wallet. We will have a headless wallet available, which is just the binary process, and that'll be available for ODIN.
Question from Isaboa. When will the ODIN wallet be downloadable? And would we need to generate an ODIN address from the claim portal in advance of the wallet's release?
No, you'll need to add your ODIN address to the claim portal before the release. So yeah, you'll be able to get it before the release.
Mr. Blister here. Are you confident about the wallet security, and has the code been audited?
The auditing process is an ongoing process, and we are doing it. We've got the wallet, and we're working on that. And it's, you know, as it gets added to, and as we improve it and do testing on it, then yeah, it's, you know, auditing isn't just something you do and then it's like, okay, cool, tick. Something you need to continually do.
Yeah, and additionally, because we are, you know, we are forking from another code base. You know, we're taking in issues that have come up in the past with their own solutions, and coming in at an angle that allows us to, you know, to be at a good par and a good pairing system with an existing technology and blockchain that has been out there for has been out for a couple months now. You know, we are, one of our developers is in talks with and is contributing back. And, you know, so we're trying to establish a good relationship. But as with all forks, you know, it's a hard thing to judge until, you know, each kind of gain their own maturity in the cryptocurrency world.
It's probably also on that point, it's probably worth, from a coding and testing perspective, pointing out that we already have integrated Travis with the ODN wallet, and we are looking to do that across everything so that we can do continuous integration.
Yeah, continuous integration. So Travis CI is a continuous integration CI tool that we want to establish as part of our development process and launch process, just to give more transparency to the tests that are being run on our current stacks, and also to push for the idea that the tests should be available and should be out there.
Yes. And to add to that, we're looking to contribute this back in a more formal way and a more organized way to Bitcoin Core, because the tests that they've got are all just kind of mute tests that are just there for the sake of it, rather than actually testing that stuff really works in a way that's been planned out. So we're looking to try and do that and make it kind of more of a norm for people to do this. So it seems like it's more of a thing that large organizations do on big projects, but it doesn't need to be like that. It can be across any kind of project you want, and it just saves a lot of time and headaches and issues and bugs that happen with a lot of releases if you don't implement that and have it going and keep adding to the library of tests that you've got running. So this is definitely part of the kind of usability angle, and also testing
in general
angle.
initiative.
In that general side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a question here from Dark Monad again. He wants to know if ODIN will initially start with SegWit, since 4 has completed SegWit support.
At launch, we are not going to be launching with SegWit, because probably not. We definitely want to give some time to, you know, as with the wallet and as with most advancements in the crypto spaces, almost allow other blockchains to launch with it, see how it goes, come back with bugs.
It's not completely written off.
Yeah,
it's probably not what we're going to do.
And best advice would be to wait to look at our roadmap, as you know, that will list out things that we do have in mind and that we do want to implement, but also allow ourselves enough time to focus on the key protocols and key features that we want to have there. And then aside from that, you know, once we do launch, we will be having the community-driven bounties and focuses So if there are community members that do want to rise to a challenge and work towards implementing SegWit while we might be focusing on other features, that is completely up and open to the community to vote on, which I think allows for a good balance of what we think is feasible and what we should be implemented, and what the community might want to vouch for as well.
Correct. Bullish.
Bullish.
So looking at the number of people in the call here, we've got maybe 20, 30 people. More than the last time.
Please try to refrain from swearing. We have a 12-year-old Gohan in the midst.
Yeah. I can't. Sorry.
Also, do apologize. So I'll introduce myself really quick here. I'm Pixel, aka Von Bolak. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm right now with Pete here, who he doesn't have his laptop with him, and we decided to just go with a singular device for this AMA. I've been with Obsidian since on and off since roughly I'd say November, and officially working full time since March. I've had 10 plus years of UI and front end developer experience, and my main focus is to create very attractive and polished and well usable applications that utilize blockchain technologies. And as of late, definitely been diving deep into the code source to help contribute where I can with it.
Well said, Vaughn. You really know how to market yourself.
I wouldn't be here otherwise. Tee TM. But yeah, no. Obsidian's been it's been a wild project. It's my first blockchain project, and that's why I definitely feel very. Pete's right now taking over my keyboard. I've been very, very into the project just because as my first blockchain initiative, I want to provide my very best value here, and I do see a lot of value in Obsidian and ODIN. And I'm excited just to be given the opportunity to work in both of these blockchains now.
So we have another question here. Dark Monad again. He wants to know why we have such a high inflation rate.
So that's a good question. One of the people that are commissioned and have supported the ODIN initiative came up with a reward scheme that would incentivize heavy early adoption and continuous adoption, really, of the protocol. Now, the current rate that it looks at, it does seem quite high, especially with the assumed a pre-mine that would occur with it. But based on the current data from people that have so far been claiming on the Obsidian ODIN claim portal, we're definitely not going to be hitting that number, so it's going to be a lower target. But still, that first year, then coming on to a year and a half, yeah, there's going to be a high initiative, and that's really just to drive to drive the idea of a decentralized community. As far as there's a lot of people that can come in, stake, be part of the system and be part of the ecosystem, and really get embedded with it from an early on age, and to really try to strive away people from having too much, just because they have a lot and they can get a lot. It seems a little bit more of a fairer starting ground. Would you like to add anything on that?
I guess what we're constantly trying to get to is enabling everyone that's involved to have to be able to play their part and contribute and input ideas and be part of the system. So it'd be interesting to hear if everyone's really against the reward scheme that we've got in place. Still an opportunity for us to adjust it, but we've taken advice from a lot of experienced people, and that's what's currently in the white paper and what's decided on. But if it seems like the entire community is against it, then it's definitely something that there's still an opportunity for us to change.
Yeah, very much open for discussion. That's why we released the white
Change
paper.
your Discord notification.
Oh yeah, let me mute that off here. Very much open for discussion, but right now that is what we're going with. Let me see what I can do here. That's do not disturb.
Okay, so we move on to the next question. You guys ready?
Yeah.
So Isabo here, he wants to know if before the end of September is still an accurate target for launch.
That's what we're aiming for at the moment. Yeah, if anything changes, then we'll update that.
Yeah, we definitely want to give enough time. Even though this was a soft launch, we had a probably incredible, just turn around for the amount of people that have so far registered, so far started claiming Obsidian. And I think that's wonderful and that's great. That really shows how attentive our community is, even in times of where everybody, is spread out, might not be paying attention. It's really brilliant to see. But we do still want to give enough time for people that may have been putting this off, that may have been waiting until the official release, to have enough time to get their funds together, to be part of this transition to a new blockchain. And just to make themselves aware of what Odin wants to position itself as.
So we've got a funny question here from Guhan. I don't want to read it word for word per se, but I think he's basically asking how we can put faith in the development team, and how do we know that we have quality developers working on the project?
Well, one thing that we're hoping to one thing that we are going to do eventually is to publish all our user tests, all our unit tests rather. So all the Travis CI stuff, if someone's not technical, basically all of the tests that check for stuff working in the correct way, all of that can be published and publicly available, so that people that are not coders can see exactly how we're testing everything, every single new commit and every push and pull of code, and every new build of the wallet, so that you can see what's changed and what has or hasn't worked. And transparency is basically going to rule the day there. So if someone tries to commit something that's a load of crap, then it will fail some of the tests at the other end once the automatic headless wallet gets built and tested by those tests that we keep adding to. It's like kind of library of tests that are all things that we want it to do. So.
Yeah, and to add on to that, a couple of fallacies that fell short with Obsidian, have been taken into thought when it comes to onboarding other developers and new people with Odin, and essentially that comes down to milestones. We're tired of people saying that they're going to do something and not receiving the equal benefit, and instead, we want to set up situations where, if a developer wants to prove themselves in Odin and wants to provide features and updates, that's great. And those are milestones, and milestones would be rewarded as such. Everything else would essentially be, up in the air until something, until they can deliver on what they said they're going to do. And that's a big part of what Odin is going to be, is doing what you say you're going to do and deliver on that. Because we want to provide the best value to the community. We want to do the best for the community. We want to be position ourselves in Odin to be well embedded in the crypto space.
Yes, I guess to add to that also from our side, it's useful for us to be able to be confident about being transparent, because by being transparent, that enables us to ask anything and show everyone our hands, and therefore get better help and support, and let other people understand and kind of be aware that there's no ulterior motive other than us trying to do exactly the best thing possible. And that's one of the, I would say, one of the big USPs that we've got here, is that all we're trying to do is the best possible thing, in terms of the technology, in terms of transparency, in terms of the distribution and everything else. And we learned a lot of lessons from Obsidian, and that's been kind of helpful in a way. because it's enabled us to really think objectively and clearly about this side of things. I'm just going to ask them to put the roof over here.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, 1 sec, guys. Quick break here. We're outside and it's starting to drizzle just a little bit.
Anyone got a question for me?
No.
I knew it. Ooh, several people typing.
So, how is Boomer life, courtesy of Dark Monad?
Well, it's a good life. I mean, you get all the monster you can drink from the government. So, yeah, I mean, what else do you need in life,
Way more people are typing for you than for the core team or the developers.
Gohan, we're gonna fight at the. I'm gonna fight Gohan at the $5 party. Everyone can place their bets. That's Dark Monad. The left leg is gold.
He meant episode 1, obviously. Or episode 2.
Well,
episode 2.
I mean, I said ask me anything, not I'm gonna answer everything correctly.
We can see there are some serious questions, but we're just going to put them on hold till everyone's back on.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Pete and Pixel. Also, changelog will be released right after this AMA.
Big things are coming. Ooh. We think. We hope.
Soon TM.
What do I know? I'm just a mod.
In reply to Dark Monad, yes, but he will return soon TM with a new AMA.
Oh man, the question backlog is growing. So, Pels, what are you doing in your spare time?
I recently started up XCOM again.
Which one? The old one?
Yeah, the first one. Or, well, the first one, like the first remake.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And it's frustrating beyond belief.
Yeah, it's meant to be really hard.
I mean, how can you stand right in front of an alien and miss the shot?
It's actually quite hilarious to watch sometimes.
It is, but I care about my people.
Oh, yeah. It's permadeath, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool. So what's your favorite flavor of Boomer Juice?
I never actually had it.
What? Do they even sell it over there?
I think so. I think they do.
I have to agree with Guhan. I like that one.
I really don't know how you can drink the zero stuff. I need sugar.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like if it's a sugar replacement, that this kills the pals.
When I was away in Spain, they got rid of Coke Zero and Coke Light. They merged it all into Coke and just say Coke no sugar or Coke Light flavor. It's really weird now. So it's only Coca-Cola.
Yeah, diabetes from that, man. Because like your brain gets because you're not getting sugar, and it feels like you're getting sugar.
Wait. You're saying you get diabetes from sugar-free drinks?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That is not true.
No, it's
Probably true.
That is not true.
Should I tell you why? Basically, your brain gets tricked. There is research. I read this on the interwebs and also telly. I watched it on telly and read it on the.
These are really good sources, Pete. I'm impressed.
I also saw a book once, and one of my friends told me that their friend, who is someone that's been to the doctor, also knows that it's true.
All right. Okay. So, you saw the book, guys. Case closed.
There you go.
Well, he saw the book.
I admit defeat.
No, so the thing is, like, apparently it convinces your brain that it's sweet and it's sugary, but then you never get the sugar hit, so your brain like gets fucked up and confused about it. And have a look into it, man.
Yeah.
Look at the book.
The wrong topic. Let's get back on. I'm actually going to talk about this with you later because I want to fight for this.
Hellshager is like 100% absolutely correct about everything. And so if he thinks, what do you think? What do you think, Danny?
I think it's true. That's why.
So there you go. The case closed.
I'm out of here, guys.
Stop putting
Exit scamming diabetes. All right, let's go.
Okay, so let's find the last question. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
I'm ready, boy.
So let me know, guys, if I missed anything. Here's one. The mitigator wanted to know when we would get to meet the rest of the team.
Meet the rest of the team. Okay. Well,
by all means, sir.
I don't know what
So we, Odin.
We're all around. So
yeah, we're all around. However, Odin is right now in talks with people that are generally supporting Odin, and may or may not be really part of the official core team yet.
Yes, it's kind of ambiguous what the team is ultimately, because we've got lots of people we're working with, people that have been around for a long time, like Pixel, and there's also people that we're also talking to about working with, people that have only just started working with us. So like having a team as such is like kind of not quite the model that we've got, and also because we're trying to be more community focused and bounty focused and decentralized in future, it's not really that centralized team in an office owned by a corporation with VC funding and everything else isn't really what we're all about. So it's
I mean the people that like myself or like Pete or like Danny that do definitely want to advocate that they are, and Darren, that they're part of Odin, they're part of the ongoing contribution towards Odin's value. There will be publicized as much, but people that may just be hired on for a one-time consultancy or for just some supporting work. Like for example, the studio that helped provide assets for Odin. There's been a couple that have done that, and we have them listed on our website, but they're not officially ongoing team members because they're consultants. We're definitely trying to find this balance between showing the transparency of who's worked with us and the transparency of who's actually part of the team and who's actually contributing value on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I guess one thing is, I suppose, what's the reason for having a team? It's more really when you're raising funds for something that hasn't been created. If you've already got something out there that's constantly improving, then do you really worry about the team behind it? Are you more interested in actually looking into the materials and the value that's being created? That's the thing, really.
Yeah, and that's just where the balancing comes in. So if you have a question, if you want to know who worked on this, and we don't have that answer for you, then we will look towards providing that on there. The people that have so far been working with us that have wanted to be advocated, we have listed appropriately.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Blister again here. He wants to know if there will be any potential problems seen with regards to having a privacy messenger listed on either the Android or the Apple app stores. So, can you guys foresee an issue there?
Not
really. when it came to the OSM, one of the major struggles that we had for launch on the Google Play Store was the fact that the Google Play Store itself wasn't allowing certain assets to be uploaded properly, which made it essentially, we literally couldn't meet the deadline because we had to wait for Google to update their dashboard. But even after they updated it, we hit certain obstacles, we hit certain, bumps that we needed to address, and then all of that definitely, pushed back the idea of wanting to be on the Play Store. But, it definitely all worked out in the end because, we got to reassess where we were. It allowed us to look at, our technology stack and the people that were currently contributing to us and realize that we needed to make, some executive decisions here to make sure that we were on the right path for Odin's, true success, or Obsidian's true success at the time. So as far as the pushbacks that we may have, because Telegram has been attacked, WhatsApp's been attacked. They're also very popular on the current Play Store. So I think at launch, it's not really an issue for us to get published on there. It'd be more so once we gain traction, once we gain, some market dominance where we need to assess how the market is. But at that point, there will be availability to let people install our applications either through like a side app store. And additionally, we have reached out in the past to some legal internship or legal spaces in California that specifically work with privacy applications to see how we can better position ourselves in the market. So we do have contacts out there for if that becomes an issue. But at launch, we're going to be just another messaging service, Yeah,
I mean, like the kind of more succinct answer to the question is, no, there will not be any problems with it being released on Android or iOS at all on the Apple Store. Yeah, that's absolutely not going to be a problem with a wallet that's mobile and works with it. There's no problem with that. There's no problem with other apps that we're working on that will be released because they're just apps. They're just certain aspects of them that are running on the blockchain. It's not really that much different to working with. Well, it is, but it's simplistic way. It's not that much different to them interfacing with a cloud-based
some cloud service.
Center. Yeah. It's a similar kind of premise in terms of the way that we're transmitting data in and out of the application itself. So, no, is the short answer.
So a question here from Cool Roof Coatings, and I'm just going to paraphrase a bit. He's basically asking what steps will be taken after the launch of Odin to market it and ensure a quick adoption.
The marketing.
To market Odin.
The marketing of Odin and quick adoption of Odin.
So I'm trying to in terms of like where are we advertising and where's the PR going to be coming out of and what it's pretty straight.
Well, one of the things I'll tackle here is the idea of marketing. A lot of people say when marketing, a lot of people say why aren't we being marketed? And there's kind of two sides to it. And Cool Roof, I see it you're posting now, so if you want to revise your question, go for it. But off of what you may have asked earlier, part of marketing is just having people be aware of you. So one of the ongoing tasks that is currently being looked into and being worked on, for Odin is pushing the idea of education. And, so we've got content writers right now pushing for education of common blockchain terminology, common blockchain ideas and just pushing for that information to be out there, to be found by crawlers, to be found by Google, to be found by SE, and we're doing our best in terms of content to be recognized in that space for SEO. So when people are looking to be educated on a blockchain, they can look to ODIN. And that is definitely one part of the marketing appeal, is the fact that, we want people to be educated. We want people to come to us for education. And that's one part of our initiative as ODIN, is to educate, not only developers, but also people that are just getting into the field of crypto community.
Yeah, educate also is kind of ambiguous. I suppose it's not necessarily to educate per se, but it's to provide all the materials. It kind of still, again, goes back to transparency, because it's like the more open source and the more open and transparent we are about everything that we do, and the more we try and explain it as well as we can whilst we're doing it. I mean, I used to write modules for 3D sculpting at a university, and the best way I found to do stuff that other people could learn from was finding something I didn't know how to do, and then whilst I was learning how to do it, write it down in granular detail, and then put it together as a tutorial, as a video tutorial, as screenshots and as PDFs, and then use that as material and then talk through it and then give workshops on it and so on. People found it really easy to learn stuff that way, and I remembered it really well as well. And so that, by doing a lot of the things that we're doing in that kind of way, and creating toolkits and workshops and materials as we work through everything that we're doing for other people to use for free, and then encourage to come and work with us and do the same thing. That's kind of part of it. Yeah, sure. So that's part of the educational slant, definitely.
Yeah.
But also, in terms of the actual content that we're putting together, we're paying freelancers that are really good at writing to put together a lot of stuff around different areas of blockchain that, the layperson doesn't know, or has kind of these mystery kind of things that they read about in mainstream news. All this kind of bullshit about how blockchain is all just used for pirates and
illegal substances, yeah.
And so we're trying to explain all of it as unbiased as possible and write it out in long form, and then write lots of blog posts around that and focus on pulling people in so they can understand it and learn from it, and then go, okay, these guys are actually telling the truth here and telling us what we can, and making sure that we put all the kind of sources that have been used to put those articles together. We're talking when I say long form, it's between 4,000 and 10,000 word articles, and we're actually creating those at the moment. And all of this kind of stuff is just part of the marketing. There's loads of different aspects to it. There's obviously advertising, paid advertising that you can do that targets certain areas at certain times when we're looking at different audiences, trying to bring them in to help with different things and to get involved in different areas. And then there's also going to networking meetings and to meetups and that are in different areas and passing out our cards, and there's merchandise, and there's also I don't know, there's so many different aspects to it.
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot of facets to marketing, and so we're doing what we can right now for a blockchain that has not officially launched, and we're also advocating what our vision is. So there's definitely multiple parts of it, and it's an ongoing process to market.
But there's also the PR side of things. Maybe a lot of people maybe think of marketing as purely just PR, and there's a lot of people that I know who basically are connected to journalists and a lot of the main kind of online crypto and electronic and digital kind of online magazines and offline magazines. And basically, if you've got something that's not a load of bullshit, and you've got something that's maybe new or aligns with some of the stories that they've got up and coming, then the people that I speak to then go and pitch to these people. And if they think, yeah, that sounds like a kosher kind of story, we'll include that in the article, then you get a lot of organic kind of stuff put out there about you. And then you can share that yourself and promote that yourself so that people see these other reputable places are talking about you and advocating what you're doing as part of what they're talking about. So there's a lot of different aspects to it, and all of this is planned in.
Yeah, and so I guess to what Cool Ruth was possibly hitting on was the idea of partnerships. As it stands right now, do we have partnerships ongoing?
So for example, Darren's one of the things Darren's working on at the moment is partnering with universities. So he's finding out all the different I mean, this is just one aspect, but he's finding out what courses all the different universities in the UK for a starting point, and then other countries have that are related to blockchain, crypto, privacy, that side of things, and then getting in touch and seeing if they're interested in talking to us, seeing if they want to have us as guest lecturers, seeing if they want to work with us, seeing if they've got any PhDs that are interested in being kind of approached to work collaboratively with us on research in different areas that align with what our overall philosophies are and what we're trying to do. And then a lot of those places are very open to this kind of thing because they see it as industry. And so that's one aspect of this.
Yeah, and when we do go to meetups, like Danny and myself went to a meetup in Amsterdam. There was a speaker that was talking heavily with education in the Mexican and South American space. And, if we find people that happen to be talking about ideas or areas that align with our focus and our drives, what drives ODIN, then we're definitely going to be reaching out to them. We're definitely going to try our best to have some sort of either informal or formal partnership. And, we're going to be doing our best to advocate ourselves in the space and find like-minded individuals who care about open source, who care about education, who care about, polished applications for the general populace, because those are all things that are going to lead to either back to us or back to the cryptocurrency community. And, they all kind of play hand in hand with each other.
In terms of I personally don't see them as a competitor at the moment. I think that they are people that we can work with, and they have great technology.
Oh, this is a side question. You didn't get it yet.
Right, sure. But basically, I mean, like, I'm open to working with and partnering with and contributing to projects that align with our philosophy, which is being transparent, being open source, helping other people learn about blockchain, respecting people's privacy, developing useful things on blockchain, and doing kind of cool creative stuff with it. So if they're doing that as well, I'm happy to work with them as well, and I'm sure we can both benefit off each other.
Yeah. So yeah, very long answer, but marketing partnerships, very big area to talk about. So appreciate to bring that up.
Okay, another question for you guys. Dark Monad here. Is it realistic that the messenger will be released this year?
Yeah.
It's realistic as far as what features it may or may not have, as far as it being decentralized yet. That's definitely a little bit more...
Okay, let me say this without getting into too much detail. It's more, it's absolutely certain that we will release a game on ODN before the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, just despite whatever is going on or not going on, we have ideas. We're going to execute on these ideas, and we're going to utilize as much as we can from blockchain to at least start pushing us in a direction. So a question earlier about like what's going to happen to Obsidian, or is there still going to be a wallet? Yeah, there's still going to be Obsidian. There's still going to be a wallet, and it's going to be a great space for us to start looking into opportunities, for generic blockchain development, where some parts of it can be used for a game and could be gamified, and what can be carried on to ODIN.
Okay, next one here. Kajit, will there be a dedicated place to talk about budget proposals? And if so, what format will it be? Forum-style website, perhaps?
I think that kind of goes in hand with like the community values, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't think we have a formal website launched yet, or a formal platform launched yet, but it's likely something that we're going to want to develop internally anyways, so that way we can once again provide a service to ourselves internally, and also for the cryptocurrency sphere is a place where people can create these bounties, this open forum dialogue. But yeah, because that is definitely part of ODIN, and the fact that there will be a community bounty, there will be people with masternodes voting on features that they want seen. There will be a portal of sorts, and a lot of the work that is being done right now, as far as the ODIN claim portal, will likely be reused for the future portal that will be a community hub. So we're trying to do work in a way that that allows for that extensibility, where we can reuse it, other people can reuse it, they can build off of it, and yeah.
I think we could add to that is we could be hosting AMAs basically like this, but for the developers that submitted proposals. So the developers can just explain the upsides of their proposal to anyone that's got questions. So like besides having a forum or another discussion place, basically giving them a platform to discuss their ideas with the voters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, the ideal thing would be for us to basically have stand-ups with different areas. So, like, you'd have a stand-up with the people that are interested in terms of the community, in terms of marketing and putting forward ideas, and you'd kind of get that down on like Trello or whatever for the board for that, and same with developers and so on. And that would also be part of the AMA. I mean, the AMA would eventually become the kind of like the voice changelog resulting from the progress made by those people that week. Yeah. See what Mr. Bliss is saying about moving targets.
Yeah, that's probably about the game coming in, but we should clarify that the game is not being made by the blockchain or messenger developers.
Yeah, that is yeah, the game, it's the game that we've been talking about internally is more or less an idea that will evolve over time. And that's something that I've been looking into on the side, aside from the claim portal and aside from other ODIN and Obsidian objectives. But this is something to while we're really defining where Obsidian is going, it's a great idea to bring some value to Obsidian while ODIN is seemingly getting all of like the spotlight and attention. And it's
post the game document.
So yeah, all the priorities remain in place. This is
we all the priorities remain in place still with ODIN. ODIN is still the primary release point right now. However, as there is free time available, when available, there is a game concept going on right now, and it's being developed over time. And a lot of the ideas are going to be carried on with ODIN, and could potentially be improved upon.
Yeah, I mean, with ODIN and the messenger and everything else about the chain, I have nothing I can contribute there other than helping with marketing and planning. And so, in terms of my creative and things I'm passionate about, I like games, I like creating stuff, I like art and music, and I like coming up with new ideas. And so I've come up with this idea for a game that we could build without smart contracts on Obsidian. And so in any downtime that developers have, whilst different things are being worked out or tested or built or whatever else, is something that we can also apply ourselves to. So I put together a game design document, and it's all in progress, and it's not very complicated. It's just
it's finding a balance between what's available right now on Obsidian and most other blockchains, and applying something to that. Using what we can with Obsidian and having a fun way to be part of the ecosystem on or a platform on Obsidian and continue with that.
Okay, shall we move on?
Cool. Yeah.
So here's one from Martian Hunter, which ironically has actually been answered to an extent regarding the game you just brought up. But he's asking, are there any DApps other than the Messenger currently in the works, either by the core team or any satellite dev teams?
Yeah.
So anything else you haven't mentioned, basically, in development?
Yeah. So as far as ODIN's DApps or decentralized apps, the idea of decentralized apps definitely go hand in hand with the smart contract that has more functionality. And smart contracts we don't have yet on ODIN, and we're not going to promise things that don't exist yet. So we're not going to make these false promises that would lead us astray with the community. So to be blunt, this is why we're looking into a game for Obsidian, which currently does not have any smart contracts, but has the ability to potentially provide an on and off chain data storage. And that's one of the facets that we want to explore and we want to develop on. And then as far as ODIN goes, yeah, we are not right now launching with a decentralized messenger. We're not going to lie to the community about that. But that is in the pipeline. That there's a lot of things in the pipeline which you'll see in the roadmap. And a lot of this is essentially putting research and time into how we can develop this and then how we can improve upon it. For example, the game that we've had an idea about, we can make the game work. We can make the game work with on and off chain technology. And how can we improve upon that on ODIN, which we actually do have smart contracts? So as far as dApps that are available upon launch, you're not going to see, a huge plethora of applications that are ready to go because we don't have that. And we're putting work and we're putting time towards the research of it, the implementation of it, and we're continuously watching where the for development is and where PivX development is as far as implementing smart contracts. So that way we can continuously upgrade and keep ourselves updated with the most current and modern tech stack for our blockchain.
Next question here.
Yes, there
Shall
are.
I continue?
What's that, Cam?
Oh, well, sorry. You guys want to continue?
Well, I mean, I would say yes, there are different dApps that are at different stages, but the thing is, like, they all, especially on ODIN, rely on smart contracts. So
yeah, it's a key part of smart contracts.
That's why we're trying to be kind of clever and create dApps that don't need smart contracts, which is what we tried to do with the autonomous payment portal.
Just to reiterate that those plans are a placeholder until we do have smart contracts. They are on the roadmap.
Thank you, Isaboa, for bringing that up.
But yeah, and I suppose the other thing, probably just tag on to that in terms of dApps. The purpose of us creating any dApps isn't really necessarily to create dApps because that's the be-all and end-all of what we're offering. It's kind of go through that process, like I mentioned before, to explain exactly how to do it and how we did it and the caveats and the kind of pitfalls and everything else that we found along the way, and to basically create what we can in terms of educational resources, toolkits, workshops, anything else, video tutorials and so on, so that other people can then use those and add to them to create their own dApps and extensions of what we've created, simply.
Okay, we'll move on. Kara Davis wants to know what the story is with all the reports about a lot of missed ODN stakes lately. If you guys have any idea.
So, I'll make a comment on this. Obsidian is right now on a proof of stake version 2. And as such, there is a proof of stake version 3. And the reason why there is a version 3 and not a version 2 anymore is because there were bugs, there were ideas that were introduced in version 2 that Blackcoin created. Blackcoin is, of course, one of the primary players in the proof of stake community because they are contributing a lot of development, research, and implementation of proof of stake. And so, one of the issues that they encountered in proof of stake version 2 is the fact that coinage, which is the amount of time that your coins have been in your wallet and have or have not received a reward, does play a role in the reward schema. And so with that, it definitely can be manipulated. And if an address does hold a lot of obsidian and happens to go in and out of connections a lot, it could definitely affect the skewing of rewards. Now, I can't say for sure that has been happening with obsidian, but that is something to bear in mind. And it may or may not be purposeful. It may be a wallet that might have a lot that is either encountering ping issues or packet loss, and may or may not be coming in and out of the network, just in general. Or it could be a large holder that is trying to gamify the system. And so this is one of the issues that is has been talked about internally as far as Obsidian needs to be updated. It should be updated to proof of stake version 3, where it omits the coinage, and this problem may or may not happen as often. And it's also an advocacy for moving forwards with ODIN and trying to make sure that people who do hold a large amount or a good amount of the supply is in a checked and balanced system where they wouldn't be wanting to gamify it and potentially aggravate other good actors. And that's really my 2 cents on the current situation that people are having with staking losses.
Yeah. So in summary, it's basically because the algorithm from Blackcoin had some bugs which make it a little bit biased sometimes, and other times not, and therefore it self-compromises and cuts out stakes that should have been rewarded sometimes, and vice versa. So it's not an issue that's a problem. It's just something that's in the algorithm.
While we're on the topic, I just want to expand on that. Do you think this will be looked at a little more closely in the short term? Because
we've looked at it really closely, and it looks like it really is something that's. I mean, we've looked at our wallets, and we've looked at the OPL wallets, and it seems to be happening across the whole chain. So.
Yeah, even the OPL wallets are being affected. So this is an ongoing issue that we are seemingly coming across. But also, interesting enough, there was one person who reported being on on a side chain, and we don't really know where that came from, where that fork came from, and that's where we definitely advocate people to make sure that they are using the wallet that is from the GitHub Obsidian platform versus Obsidian project. Just because there is an issue right now where some people are receiving a lot of rewards for a blockchain that isn't actually supported, and we're not. We don't have the resources, unfortunately, to tackle all these problems at once. So we're trying to tackle what we can in a manner that seems the most important. So yeah, make sure that you are using a wallet that is from Obsidian platform. And, if you are having stake issues, reach out to us to make sure that you are on the proper chain. And that's all, we can really provide at this time, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Dark Monad again. He'd like to know if we'd have at least one blockchain dev hired for ODIN to maintain the project and continue working on it every day, or would it all be community based at some point?
The answer is yes, we do, and we're hoping to get more than one. On a continual basis. We've had a few people working with us, and some people that were meant to be long term that turned out not to be, or disappeared, or whatever else. But then, at the moment we've got one main guy and a few other people, but a lot of them are kind of want to remain either anonymous or a community shy or whatever else. So, still, proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Just hold on here. I'm just looking for the next question. Let me know if I've skipped you, by the way. I'm trying to go through everyone here. It looks like it's Mr. Blister. If the messenger isn't ready at launch, why would anyone care about Odin? Quite blunt.
So this is again living in the ideal situation here where we have the centralized messenger launched at launch. If we did have a decentralized messenger ready to go at launch for Odin, the value that we would be coming in and pushing for Obsidian right now would probably be stemming from the research and implementation of a online game that would be utilizing some on and off-chain technologies that Obsidian currently provides. Now, those on and off-chain technologies that Obsidian currently provides, Odin would also be able to provide. However, with Odin, there is more time being put into researching smart contracts,
better distribution,
and a better distribution. So there's a lot more value that would be available and would be seen on Odin versus Obsidian. However, because we definitely want Obsidian to still be a platform for either research or improvements on the blockchain space, that is going to be an area where we will focus on testing out, new ideas, new ventures, and this Viking video game is one of those ventures, and it may or may not be approved upon on Odin, but that's where we will be. We're going.
Mr. Blister also asks what there would be at launch to entice people to use and develop for Odin instead of just using competing crypto platform like 4.
1 second. Try this. Pulling up Trello really quick here.
Is that as in buying the coins or developing on the platform?
Or
yeah. Well, when it comes to development, as I understand it, bear in mind I'm not a developer, but from what I understand is that their documentation, and in the general crypto space, that the documentation of anything that's being programmed is severely lacking. Our developers are working on documenting everything, making sure that every new developer that's interested in developing on our platform, that they know exactly how it works, what they can do with it. So yeah, that's one major difference in the documentation. I think Pixel's coming in with a much better answer.
Well, no, that's that. By the way, I'm not Pixel. I don't know if you realise that. I'm not. So, yeah, like that's a good response, definitely, to start with. I'll just kind of reel off a little list. So, obviously, master nodes, usability. I mean, so usability is a big thing for me, and something I'm trying to push. And it kind of touches on a lot of what Danny's just said. Making sure that we make everything that we do as usable as possible for people that don't have a clue what they're doing. Means that it's a lot easier to use for people that do have a clue what they're doing, and it means that more people will like using things that we do. And so if we advocate that and explain how to make that possible and create tool shops, educational materials, do workshops and toolkits rather, and workshops that explain how to do usability testing, explain what is good usability and what's bad usability, all that kind of side of things. We keep pushing for that. That's going to be one angle. Zero coin protocol, mobile first framework is like what we're really pushing for, is making sure that everything that we create on ODIN is mobile first. We're also like always looking to co-create with the community in terms of frameworks, in terms of the apps, in terms of anything we do. We're looking to be completely transparent and collaborative with the community. It's very early days, so it's good to get in now, like really early on, because the sooner you get involved with something like this, where we're trying to be as transparent and inclusive as possible, the more advantage you have, obviously. We're looking to provide as much support as possible in the early days with the people that get involved early on, because we believe those are the people that also have like a lot of like genuine belief in what we're trying to do, and therefore they believe in the philosophy that we have, which is why we're doing what we're doing. I don't know. That's what I can say about it. I don't know if you want to add anything.
I mean, that's everything that that we're pushing for with ODIN.
Yeah. So I hope that answers it.
Just want to rephrase Mr. Blister's question there. Basically, he's curious about what distinguishes ODIN from other similar blockchain projects like FOR and Pivx. What are the key points that make ODIN stand out against those other projects?
I mean, I would definitely advocate one of the key points that ODIN is going to position itself as. Well, a few things. One is the usability, and the other is education. You know, with the blockchain technology and applications out there so far, a lot of it is very elitist. A lot of it is geared towards people that know what they're doing already in the blockchain space, and that's something that we want to focus on. You know, I'll take for example one of the key issues one of the other developers has had with ODIN is how you know, uninformative the Qt wallet space is. And that's just because everybody keeps forking off of everybody. And, you know, as you fork and as you grow and as you add more features, little goes into the documentation of that. And documentation goes very hand in hand with usability and developer onboarding. And that's one of the issues that we see. And that's one of the areas we want to improve upon. So that's the educational space. The usability side definitely comes from my direction, and that's where, you know, who is our audience? You know, where are our audience located? What devices are they using? We want to focus on mobile, so we want to focus on small devices. We want to focus on people that may be in areas where you know, the internet may not be as fast as it is in America or in really good parts of the UK. So we want to find areas of development where we can create robust applications where, you know, you may only have to load a resource once and everything else is lazy loaded as you navigate through it. Same thing with phone applications. You know, you download a phone application, you want it to be the smallest. So these are all things that we have in our head that we want to advocate for, and it's because that's where we see the market. That's where we see, you know, adoption. And, you know, yeah, there are a lot of blockchain platforms out there. There are a lot of people that have been in the space longer than we have. There are a lot of people out there that, you know, that do have a product or something out there. And, yeah, we're going to be competing in that space. We were going to be competing in that with Obsidian. But at least with ODIN, we have a blockchain that is more capable of how do you say, recruiting and offering more opportunity, because you know, with where Obsidian's at, it needs a lot of love, and we're going to try to give it love. But where Obsidian is going to start from, there already seems to be a good handful amount of people that are interested in working with it and trying to improve upon it. And all we can do is focus on protocols that can allow us to create infrastructure and allow us to create applications on it, and as you know, and pretty much just push for the incentives that drive us, and that is education space and usability. And you know, and if that's what leads us to success, that's great. If it doesn't, we tried. And but we definitely do have a strong sense of you know, if we build the right things and if we do the right things and if we make it well usable, we'll get the right traction that we need to establish ourselves in the community space.
Great answer. Let's move on to the next one. Dark Monad again. He'd like to ask if we'll have a working testnet up and running when ODIN is released. And he points this out because he sees a lot of coins are lacking this, and it's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, so we definitely do want to have a testnet. We are doing our best to make sure that we have both a mainnet and testnet available upon launch. And yeah, that is definitely something that is in our mind. And as we're going forward with updates and adjustments, yeah, we are definitely going to be doing our best to make sure we have a testnet available. Unfortunately, our other main developer isn't available online right now, so I can't comment on if the testnet is currently up and running. But there is code out there to have a testnet available, and yeah, we definitely see that, and we definitely are full advocacy. We're definitely very for testing, and testnets are a way of making sure functionality is currently existing and currently working properly. So yeah,
The answer is yes.
the answer is yes.
How long did he take?
I was like 20 hours, man. While you were away for a sec.
Are you feeling tired or something? I think Vaughan had a late night last night, working, actually genuinely working. Anyway, next.
All right, let me know, guys. Don't skip anyone because I got to do a lot of scrolling. Okay, so let's see here. We've got a question on getting advice on what's the best time to buy. So I'm going to help
When it's at the bottom, right? I would say.
Yeah. Sometimes that works. Sometimes.
Yeah, buy high.
Didn't work for a BitConnect.
Buy right at the top.
Buying right at the bottom of BitConnect didn't work.
I think $10 20 something or other, right? They talk about Ethereum Classic or something else.
Yeah, Ethereum Classic is like 10, 15.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the most stable coin on the market. It's been like the same price for a whole year. It's really weird.
Yeah, until tomorrow.
Well, it's on Coinbase now anyway, unless there's something else coming.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm still looking for a proper question here. I don't see another question, guys. Hit me up if I've missed you.
What have we been doing, like an hour and 20 or something?
But it's been a good long session, so get your questions in.
Great
before it's
session,
over.
actually. Yeah, this is going to be a hardcore write-up, dude.
We're looking at you, Hypo. You got a lot of work cut out.
He's already exit scammed.
Yeah, he's already gone.
See you later, guys.
Also, thanks everyone for being so civil. Like everyone's been really
it's like actually a proper AMA. It's great.
Well, you weren't around when you were gone, so.
I love that comic that Mr. Blister shared. It's a great comic. Here we go.
I don't know why everything needs to be competing, really.
Because they all want to make money. That's the short answer.
Yeah, but the easier way to make money, like in the long term, is by collaborating. More consistent.
To be legitimate and have a genuine vision and passion.
Yeah.
At least that's what seems to be.
I think quite a few of us are pretty genuine about our, like what we believe in and what we want to do and trying to do the right thing. And so, we've got quite a few decent tech people as well, and people that contribute to the vision. And
I don't mean to, oh, pardon me, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, I don't mean to stir the pot or anything, but I actually was looking forward to some spicier questions, but they never came. And I think you guys might actually be open to answer some of these more provocative questions if they arise.
Yeah, totally.
So I'll just go ahead now with the next one here.
Go on.
Mr. Blister chiming in again. What do you find most exciting about what's coming up with ODIN?
Probably the claim, like, releasing the chain and that all, the other side of that, and like actually kind of building on that. So it's not all questions about that. It's more questions about how can people help? How can they get involved? What can they do? And it's when we're kind of talking, when we're trying to choose from like an array of interesting projects. Also, like, I guess I'm excited about working with other chains and partnering with other people and collaborating and contributing back to kind of make really good stuff and work with like a wider range of people. That's what I would say anyway. This is the question. What do you find most exciting about what's coming up with ODIN?
From my side, it's still the ongoing task of creating a blockchain that has very well polished and usable applications. So whether that be developing for Obsidian or ODIN, that is where my most exciting facets are. Yeah, what's most exciting. So it's really just trying to create a standard in the cryptocurrency space for something well usable. And I've received a lot of great feedback so far from the ODIN claim portal, and that just further helps push my idea of, well, we have people that may or may not be educated in the space, so let's provide the education, let's provide the portal, and let's see what the feedback is. And so far it's been really positive, and that's coming from people that have both experience and no experience in the blockchain world, and that that is showing proof that we're doing the right thing. So yeah, that's where that's my 2 cents on the matter of working with ODIN. It's just creating usable applications for the common people, and building on top of that.
Oh, yeah. If you have money to lose, then you should take a punt on things that you believe in. If you don't, then you shouldn't invest.
Is there any one particular application that either of you would like to see ODIN used for? Like, is there any one dream DApp, so to speak, distributed app?
I'm going to be completely blunt with you, as I'm thinking more and more about the future of this Viking game. That cost me pretty heavily. I'm as a huge gamer, I definitely see a lot of fun value out of it. And as somebody who's wanted to get into the game space, this is a great new challenge for me to look into and start working with.
The big question, though, on everyone's lips: is it better than CryptoKitties?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's way better.
I'm a little biased. Okay, I'm gonna say that I love cats. Okay, I'm a huge cat fan. But I am also going to say that,
It's vastly superior.
it's vastly superior. And while I say that with a grain of salt, Ethereum kitties, yeah, you can. There's a couple of interesting things about them is that they're breedable, and they're tradable. But one of the things I think CryptoKitty is falling short of is that anybody can work with CryptoKitties, and that is something that as we're even talking more and more internally about the Viking game that we have. We want anybody to work in the Viking game. We basically want to create this way for data to be stored about your Viking person, and with enough documentation, anybody else can build upon that. So we don't want to centralize it in the fact that once you have a CryptoKitty, you have to use our game and you have to continue with it. We want to build in the sense that it's superior to us because it is released to us. No, we want to build upon this idea that here is a Viking with stats with
So just post the thing.
Don't post the thing, Pete. They're not ready for the thing. They're not ready.
Do the thing.
They're not ready for the. They don't want the documentation. Nobody here wants the documentation. I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty positive.
Maybe we should make a little video. I think we should.
But yeah. So one of the key features is the fact that we want people to work with it. We want people to work with it. So we want to provide the information of how you can work with it, so you can build upon it. It's not just this isn't just an Obsidian game. This isn't just a game developed by OPL. It's showing you that we can build a collaborative game and open it up to the community and other third parties to build on it.
I'm looking forward to talking about that next week.
Looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I am actually.
That's the important part, right?
It's fun.
Okay, just one here. Don't trust verifies the name. He just wants to know, is there an actual dev residing in Manchester?
At the moment, yeah. There's more than one.
I think we're talking to them right now, possibly.
Well, Pixel is a dev.
Well, there you go.
I'm not. And Chris is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently residing in Manchester, though I do come from Chicago, and I am making myself available essentially, during normal UK hours and US hours, to be able to to work on projects, to be able to deliver on projects, and to be available for the community when they have questions. So. Yeah, well, I might not have a physical address. I can provide you my address in Chicago so you can send a postcard.
I mean, technically, I'm a dev as well. But
Pete made a couple commits to a GitHub repo, so that technically makes him a developer.
I've created a game engine in the past. And, but I'm not doing any development on this project.
Also, I will add that Gohan is barely 13, so he's barely a teenager. Take that, Gohan.
Will the game have a 15 rating on it? Because then Gohan can't play.
Yeah, we are going to have an age verification service, and also ask you if your name is Gohan, because we are definitely going to exclude all Gohans.
Do you know, on my 13th birthday, like on that very day, I did a paper round in the snow, and it took 3 goddamn hours. So I'd just like to ask Gohan what he's going to do on his 13th birthday.
Oh, he went out to dinner with his mom. That was like a few days ago.
Oh, that's really cute. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Really cute.
Guhan, you're a good
Man, you
kid.
can't be taking
Never
milk
change.
at that age. That's really bad. I mean, I'm an advocate of breastfeeding, but I mean, at 13, jeez.
Okay, here's the big, juicy, provocative question. So this will be fun.
Give us the juice. What is the juice?
Will there be any consequences for ODN core members who made money with the ICO but never did a single thing? Drop mic.
Wait, say again. Say again.
Will there be any consequences for ODN core members who made money with the ICO but never did a single thing? Courtesy of Dark Monad.
Well, I guess really the question is, what are they proposing to do going forwards? And if it's valuable and everyone agrees on that, then I think it's, we should give them, I'm one for never punishing people indefinitely. I think everyone should be given second chance, third chance, and so on. And I think that it's really not up to any individual to decide this. So I think that really, let's see what they propose. More on this next week.
Looking
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're completely against previous core team developers, so long as they might have actual value that they want to deliver and be able to deliver it in milestones,
Next question. Trying to read this one. Can that person contact a graffiti artist, the most famous in Manchester? No, I can't read this.
What?
I can't even interpret that. Sorry, rephrase it. Don't trust, verify. We'll get back to you. Mr. Blister, another question about investing.
Cool.
I assume we're going to forego all investment-related questions. That would seem reasonable. What's the situation looking like with exchanges, Mr. Blister there?
It's not really, it's a bit ambiguous, that, isn't it? So, like, what?
it's an ambiguous question, and honestly, even if we had or had not any information about exchanges, we technically cannot discuss it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, everyone knows that some exchanges you can get on free, some you pay, some you have to go through a different process, some you need to know contacts and everything else. Same situation, really. And so, yeah, like, I'm pretty confident about it, but about what? No, not now. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, we'll be on exchanges. It's something that you can pretty much guarantee. Like, if you've got a working wallet and a working chain, which we have, and we're going to be launching with, no reason why we wouldn't be on exchanges. It's not,
Yeah, so we'll be working on it, but we can't discuss any specifics as always.
Can't say which exchanges we're going to be on and list all that right now. Maybe we can look at that, and if people think that's a useful thing to talk about, great. But I mean, like, I know a lot of people think that by being on loads and loads of exchanges, that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not clear on whether that's a good or bad thing. But there's a few exchanges I've got my eyes on, and there's people that we're talking to, and I'm very confident. Can't really say anymore. Yeah, it'd be great to be on Binance. Sure. I agree.
Okay, Kara Davis next. ODIN devs getting paid in USD, right?
Nope.
Nope.
No, the majority ODN.
And I assume that would transition to ODIN.
Correct. Yeah.
And then here, do we have the funds to execute the full plan until open source devs?
Yes. We, like whatever the funds are, the way as, like my, being, in the role that I'm in, it's my responsibility to make sure that happens. So yes.
You're looking at me like,
that will, there's no doubt that that's going to happen. That's my, that's one of my massive, aim. Well, I will make that happen, definitely.
Well, we have no questions for the moment.
Yeah, Gohan's asking if the devs also get 2.5 ratio ODN to ODIN.
Oh, that one there.
Yes, so that's why it's restricted. They don't get a massive amount of ODN because otherwise it would be too skewed in terms of the percentage on the chain. So we have to restrict that. It's definitely a lot less than any legacy core team members got.
Yeah, Cam, do you have any questions for us?
Do I have any questions for you? Gosh, I almost want to ask the provocative ones myself, but I think it'd be more fun if the community said it first. So I'm egging you guys on here to ask the fun, scandalous stuff.
Yes, I was involved in a Victoria's Secret model shoot.
I may or may not have a picture circulating with something specific.
Go on then. Who? Wait, is that a question or is that you?
Yes.
No, which one? One or two?
Two.
Well, let me put it this way: if anyone's got anything that's like that puts me in a bad light, then I would love to see it because likelihood is it's photoshopped. But I doubt anyone has, to be honest. In the early days, I was very much like trusting of all the other parties.
So Guhan here, he wants to know, Pete, did you exit scam ODN to make Odin? Dun, dun, dun.
I suppose the short answer is no, but
the long answer is maybe.
Yeah, no. There's no chance. There's not even opportunity for me to exit scam anything. So it's ridiculous anyone ever accuse me in that respect.
And I suppose the fact that you're still here today.
Maybe if I was anonymous, maybe if I had zero liability, maybe if I knew everything that was going on and could hide all my addresses in advance, maybe if like many other things, but none of the above. So,
I mean, the main thing is mainly if you're an asshole.
I don't even own my Tesla. So.
I thought you were going to say I don't even own my own asshole.
I'm not even calling out one dev. I'm just calling out basically. I take all the flack. I'm carrying on with everything. I'm completely been honest from the beginning right through to now. That's all I'm trying to do. Just be honest, trying to do the best thing with the funds, trying to, build another good project, a better project, use the lessons learned, So that's all I'm trying not to cause anyone any grief. Trying to find good people to work on it, trying to promote it in the best way possible, trying to generate as much value as possible, trying to put what I can in terms of creative ideas, and see if we can do some of those things. So I don't know.
So a serious question from Kajit. Speaking of addresses, will we get all the OPL funds into 1 or 2 addresses? Can be verified.
At the moment, 4 addresses, and I'm just moving them all over to VPS nodes, so they'll be in 3 shortly. So yeah.
Cool.
And with that, we are planning to release dashboards of all 3 of them, so they can all be looked at as far as if they're staking or not staking, how much is in there. That's part of our ongoing effort for transparency.
Dark Monad's back. Are we sure we want 1 min block times? Wouldn't 2 mins be better and prevent?
Yes, that's definitely a good point, and I think from what I understand from developers I've spoken to, that is possibly a way to help with doing that. So yeah, we're looking into that completely.
So
This is
ODN
where the community jumps in and lets us know. If the community sees more benefit in having a longer block time than 1 minute, then this is the opportune time to bring that discussion up. Now, just because we release and launch doesn't mean we can't adjust anything. There could be adjustments over time. So if we release with 1 minute and the community seems to really push for 2 minutes, this is a blockchain based on the community, and as such, those updates can be made as such.
And SwiftTX can circumvent the disadvantages of that as well.
So to clarify, at this point, it would seem that it would launch with 1 minute block time.
Potentially.
Is that right? Yeah.
Sorry, no. SwiftTX is like faster, so it's like within a few seconds you can get a TX confirmed. So basically, if you increase the general transaction, if you increase the block time, then that might make traditionally processed transactions slower. But if you've got SwiftTX for smart contracts and other things that need more instantaneous.
Yeah, but I think the issue here is because of the orphan blocks that right now Obsidian is dealing with.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to be technical when I'm not technical.
Well, I think you mean that the longer block time would slow down the transaction speeds, because it
Yeah,
was
that's
only
what I
8.
was-
Yeah. So yeah,
But
SwiftTX
that issue also
realizes that.
seems, it might not be as prevalent in Proof of Stake version 3, where coinage isn't taken into effect. So where that seems to be an issue now in Obsidian, it may or may not be an issue at all in ODIN. And that just requires some more talking with our current developer and some more assessment of the current market.
That's a good idea. I wonder how we'd find a famous graffiti artist. Probably got a few people I know. No. It would be cool to have like an event like where you have people doing graffiti and skateboarding, DJing, craft beers.
I was thinking it'd be cool to print out some ODIN vinyl stickers and just stick them up.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
In hotspots. And another one was you get a template for.
Oh yeah.
Painting template. You make one of those.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You do a quick cheeky ODIN logo under a bridge or somewhere on a wall.
Every single motorway bridge you can find. Like ODIN coins as well.
Yeah. Have we actually got a standard look for sort of an icon of a physical coin? Not that there is a physical coin, but just an artistic.
There's a guy I know that runs a coin, like an actual coin.
Yeah, why are you saying there won't be a physical ODIN coin? Why are you assuming these things, Cam?
Because I know you won't have it at launch, maybe in 3 months. I'm giving you some time. It takes a while for it to become adopted as a universal currency. 3 to 6 months. I'm giving it. Keep my eyes on you guys.
Yeah, like one of the things. Well, we'll talk about it next week actually, but it's related to merchandise.
So Cam said he's gonna run soon TM.
This is
But
true.
I am
soon/now TM. So I was going to say bye,
so-
everyone. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm still curious to your question though.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks
being
for
the
sharing.
mediator here, Cam.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's no problem. Thank you guys. I'll see you around.
you're like a DJ or something.
All right. Bye-bye. Have fun. So Pell's
Later,
safe.
man.
Bye.
By the way, good work on Minecraft.
Oh, you were admiring my work? Why, thank you.
Yeah, we were last night. Fucking
Oh,
amazing.
brilliant. I have to keep it going now. I haven't played in 2 months. Anyway, see you guys. Bye-bye.
Later.
Now we can all talk.
Welcome to full.
Oh yeah, god damn
The
it.
voice.
I like have Cam
Irish
away.
guys.
All right,
Jesus.
everybody, unmute your mic. Let's all talk at the same time.
Nah, he was good. I think that helped. This has been a pretty good AMA. I mean, like, I think it's been sensible, measured, informative, maybe.
Lots of big
I agree.
words.
Flipping up amplification, decentralization. Cryptography.
All right, so Mr. Blister has one last question, which is pretty much like a summary of questions. Let me read through this really quick here.
That's all one big question.
Can you be specific as to what the launch entails? Will this be ODIN, wallet, masternode, testnet, documentation, exchange listing, and a game?
I think that I mean, like, what?
I'm gonna let Pete start here.
You can go through it.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to listen to the long answer, wait for Vaughan. But basically, there's some stuff that we will say is definite. Just like when you buy a kids magazine and you can see the toys on and the promises. But at the same time, like, some of the stuff inside is or isn't what's expected. But some surprises as well. And I don't know, maybe that's a bad analogy, to be honest. But yeah, you know, there's some stuff that we just can't know until right near when we launch. There's some stuff that we will know but would like to save for you at launch, and then some stuff that we'll tell you is absolutely definitely happening, and you'll know now and next week, maybe new things and so on. I mean, it's like that's how it's going to be. So it's impossible to say this is the final list right now when it's, you know, at least sort of five weeks or so away.
Yeah, this is partially why we released the white paper early. This is partially why we want to communicate as much as we can with the community so we can assess how the community feels. We want this to be a community chain. We want everybody to feel a part of it. So, as we can see here, Dark Monad really wants to advocate against a 1-minute blockchain, block time movement. And that's, you know, that's an initiative. You know, we want to see that. We want to see how many people are for or against that. And, you know, Dark Monad, if you create enough of a contrasting system as to why we shouldn't have a 1-minute blockchain, block time speed, then by all means, present it. You know, we want this to be available. We want the community to feel embedded with the technology that we're implementing. As far as Zombie's question about the community having a treasury, I think a treasury or an identified treasury is something that we definitely want to have. But at release, it will probably be centralized for OPL. But long term, once we actually decentralize and we have a decentralized organization, We'll likely have a member that will be appointed by the community based on reputation, that will be in charge of simple things such as DNS, paying for DNS entries, paying for proposals, or again that. But a lot of the voting is going to be coming through the community portal. We're also no longer accepting questions by Go.
Yeah, I mean,
question.
why would we be centralized until service nodes are released?
Or the
Because
GoHan clan.
we've got the master nodes already,
Even though
ensuring decentralization.
Even though the GoHan clan ain't nothing to be fucked with.
So yeah, it is basically, as Gohan says, service nodes will be there for the heavy lifting functions. Like the master nodes will provide the standard decentralization and such. The service nodes will then have some specialized capabilities. They'll have a higher hardware requirement, and they will require more coins, but the rewards will also be higher.
Right, the requirements for Masternode will definitely be a little higher, but as such, so were the reward schema.
Anyone else? Last call.
You don't have to leave this AMA, but you can't stay here.
Yeah, there's only 1 hour left, right?
Only 3 hours left.
Man, this is going to be one friggin' epic write-up.
Not it.
Hypo already volunteered as tribute.
Seriously. Jeez.
Thank you so much, Zombie.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yes,
To Mr. Blister, regarding which pie will the service node rewards come from? As I understand it, you will be able to set your own price for allowing others to use your service node. So that's where your extra reward will be coming from. So people wanting to use your service node for heavy lifting will have to pay an extra amount.
It's interesting what people think about service nodes and master nodes, and why that's a good thing for the chain other than the services they provide.
You asked me a question.
Yeah. What? What? So Vaughn. Vaughn gets a bit. Gets a can. Yeah.
Pete, why don't you just make a kiss noise?
Mm.
Thank you. Curious as to see how Hypo's going to transcribe that.
There you go. Here you go.
Mwah. All right, thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, remember the most important thing: drinking or eating things that are sugar-free in inverted commas will give you diabetes.
Yes, because Pete once saw a book.
Remember that.